What's going on, everybody? Power Metal Ranger here for another Ranger Talk video. And today I have a very, very special guest, none other than the magnificent Marius Danielsen. How are you, sir?
I am very fine, thank you. And a very nice introduction, thank you.
I don't even do, you justice with that honor. You deserve a much more grandiose introduction, in my opinion, but
Oh,
hey,
wow.
I do what I can. Thank you so much for taking the time here to speak with me. I just appreciate it so much.
It's my pleasure.
All right, well, I guess let's go all the way back to the beginning. How did you first really discover your passion for music, and what eventually led you to the power metal genre?
So my father, he took me to see Iron Maiden in 2003. I was very much into the Lord of the Rings movies and Braveheart and stuff like that. And when I saw Iron Maiden play The Klansman, they had William Wallace from the Braveheart movie in the backdrop, and then I heard they sing the story of William Wallace through metal music, and it was kind of an epiphany for me for telling my favorite piece of history through some kind of music that I could really enjoy. It was just, one of the most awesome things I had ever experienced back then. I was 15 years, I think. So when I got home, I bought myself a Fender Stratocaster because that was what Iron Maiden used. So I wanted to be Iron Maiden and do everything they did, and try to write my own music, and so it all started in 2003.
So that's when you started just music in general?
And no one around me wanted to sing either, so I had to sing, even though I had not heard my singing voice ever, because I think some people bullied me maybe in first grade or even in kindergarten, I don't know, but I had never heard myself sing before. I was 16 or something.
Wow.
So that was a weird experience when I tried to sing for the first time.
Kindergartners can be ruthless, I tell you.
Yeah, so I kept my mouth shut for 16 years.
Wow. Do you still have trouble like singing in front of like kindergartners when you see them? Does it give you like anxiety?
No.
Like, oh no, they're gonna make fun of me again?
No, it didn't go that deep, I think. So
No.
when I first burst the bubble, it was okay.
Wow.
But it was a bit stressful in the beginning to just hear how I sounded like and know if it was good enough for showing to other people and stuff. So I started recording myself and become confident with how I sounded like before showing it to people.
That's incredible, man. Like I never would have guessed. My thought was you're gonna say, oh well, when I was 2 years old, my parents bought me a guitar or piano or something, and I got in training. But you just started at like 15, 16. You'd never even sang before. That's remarkable.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all Iron Maiden's fault.
Well, I guess there's many things we can all thank Iron Maiden for, and this is just another one. The mighty Marius Danielsen. So, wow, that's awesome. And it just went from there. Were you self-taught on the guitar? Did you ever even take formal lessons or
I took some lessons when I was 22 or 23, I think, because I was studying for my bachelor degree in music. So I had this jazz teacher, and we all sat in a ring trying to read read like music sheets.
Yeah.
And I felt that was not for me, so I got an opera teacher instead and trained my voice and just worked on my guitar when I was home because reading the music sheets and doing the same thing as everyone else in the room. There was 20 guitarists trying to do the same thing, and everyone was at a different level. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Wow. So do you read music, or you just kind of, do you just
I,
wing it?
I can understand some music, but I can't read and play at the same time. I can
Yeah.
see that this is a C and this is an A, and I can maybe listen to like I hear an E and then I know what other notes fit in by using my ears. But yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. So cool. Wow. So moving on to the Legend of Valley Doom saga, like how did you get from that point to, you know, your early 20s and stuff, and working on the guitar and your vocals, and how did you get from there to creating such a epic trilogy, you know, saga of Legend of Valley Doom?
Mhm. As I mentioned, I was very into the Lord of the Rings movies. And when I saw Maiden do history through metal, I spent maybe the next 2 years learning how to play and everything. And then in 2005, I wrote my first Legend of Valley Doom song called Legend of Valley Doom. It's the same song as the one on part one, but very bad. And so I had the main idea of a Dark Lord type character and the people of Valley Doom and all that stuff in my head already when I was 17 years old.
Oh,
Um, it was not a very good demo, so I put it aside and wrote some other stuff and joined a punk band and uh, sang about beer and party.
always good topics, right?
Yeah. And then I wrote some more Legend of Valley Doom songs like Haunting My Dreams and Lost in a Dream of No Return, and a song called Last Goodbye, which later would be Raise Your Shields. And that was in 2009, I think. And then when I moved home to, yeah, because I was 1 year away at some, I don't know what it's called. It's like you don't get a degree by being at that school, but you spend a year doing what you like the most. So I went to a rock music school for 1 year and I lived at the school. So
Wow.
that's where I wrote some. So when I moved back home, I met some people who were interested in the same kind of music as me. So we recorded 6 of my Valley Doom songs and released them on MySpace.
Oh man, that goes back, huh? To
Yeah.
MySpace.
Then 2 more songs in 2010 with my brother. He was 15 years old then, so I tried to get him on the right path and
Yeah, oh, you got to do that. Yeah.
yeah. So that's when I wrote Tower of Knowledge, and he had some ideas for a song called Back to Valley Doom, which turned into March into the Storm on part 3.
Oh wow.
So we had some old songs that I used for the part 1 and part 2 and part 3. And then I took a break again from Legend of Valley Doom and uh, spent many years with Darkest Sins, which is my wife and my band. But then in 2015, I just wanted to do something proper with all the demos and stuff I had for Legend of Valley Doom, and I didn't think it fit the Darkest Sins name, so I just decided to do a solo act and do the songs as I wanted myself. not
Right.
having to ask band members about how you arrange songs and
Right.
yeah, so just do it all by myself, and then I got my brother involved as well because he's great at the orchestration stuff. Yeah.
Wow. So I guess for the Legend of Valley Doom, the story predates the music by quite some years.
Yeah, in 2005, so that's 10 years before the first album.
Wow. So you kind of had the full story already, you know. Did you write it down or was it just all the ideas just in your head?
I had some ideas written down, but it was mainly the beginning and the end. And then my brother had his Eunomia band, and he wrote about the crystal sword, and then we decided to put his stories into my story, and then we developed all the seven ancient artifacts and all of that together when I decided to do the Legend of Aladdin thing properly. So I had the start with the Chosen One and all that, and the end with the Dark Lord dying and all that.
Yeah.
So it was just
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
Wow, it's so cool. And so like all the different instruments, you know, like did you learn drumming or anything like that or
My father was a punk drummer in the early 80s, so we always
wow.
had a drum kit in my home, but I just learned the basics like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
so, so I knew how drums worked, but on my demos I use Easy Drummer, which is just drag and drop what kind of grooves you want, and
Gotcha.
then you can edit the stuff how you want it after. So that makes it easy to write songs and then get a real drummer to do it
Yeah,
after.
right. And how about like the orchestral elements?
That's all my brother's thing. I sit besides him sometimes and yell at
Yeah.
what I want,
Right.
and and sometimes I can have some melodies in my head that he records, and sometimes he sits alone in his own apartment and just knows what I want. So we
Wow.
worked together for so long now, so he knows what I like and what I don't like. So
That's awesome. So it's like, you know, everything began kind of with the Legend of Valley Doom, and then, you know, most recently Legend of Valley Doom, but in between you had Darkest Sins.
mm.
How did all of that kind of come together? And you know, um, you know, and I know you said you're in that with your wife. Did you meet in the band, or did you meet before and decide to make the band, or?
My wife and I, we met during the bachelor degree in music. She was in my class, so we decided to start a band together there. And um, we had a drummer from our class there as well, but he was more a single kick drum kind of guy. So Anniken's brother knew better drummer for our sound.
Yeah.
So we met Ludwig, and he's stayed with us since 2011 and is also in the Legend of Aladdin band. So it's basically Darkest Sins doing Legend of Aladdin as well, especially live, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's perfect. Oh man, those single kick drummer purists,
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I think the only one who can do it very good is Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden.
Oh,
On
right,
songs like Wicker Man, it sounds like a double kick.
right. No, yeah, it's wild. So I guess it seems you continue to this day to be a big Iron Maiden fan.
Yeah, it's my biggest influence. and my favorite band.
Awesome. Very cool.
Mm.
So, you know, you went from all of that and Darkest Sins, and you have, but then you have so many incredible guests, like vocalists and musicians for Legend of Valley Doom. How did you manage all of that? How did you pull that off? Basically
stalking people and sending sending a lot of emails to managers and wives and
wives.
Sometimes you need to find some clever ways to reach the ones you want to reach, so it can be very hard, but someone knows someone who knows someone, and then you find a way.
Yeah,
but it can be a lot of detective work to find the right source.
That's so funny. Like for certain characters, I guess, did you have certain guests in mind? Like, oh, this person would be great to voice this character or whatnot.
Yeah, at first I thought that I couldn't reach any vocalist. So when I got Mark Bowles as the Dark Lord on the part 1, I think that's when the thing started rolling, and I thought, oh, maybe I can do this as overblown as humanly possible. So that's when I just thought, yeah, let's do this properly. And so when I got his name on board, then it was easier to get, for example, Edu from Angra.
Oh,
and
legend.
And when I got his name on board, then Timo Tolkki wanted to do a solo. So then it started looking bigger than it actually was, because I hadn't released any albums yet. So
it's like, oh man, now I have the pressure. Now I have to do this now.
Yeah. So for each album, it was easier because they could see that I meant, I was serious about the music, and yeah, people seem to like it. So during part 2, I think a lot of people had already heard part 1, so it was easier to get Michael Kiske, for example, to join, because he had seen results from part 1, maybe. I don't know. I don't think
started to spread.
Yeah.
Wow.
And now I see on Spotify, for example, I have doubled the monthly streams from a couple of years ago. So
congratulations for that.
Yeah, thank you.
You certainly deserve it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's next? What's next for Darkest Sins? What's next for Legend of Valley Doom? I know your wife has a solo album coming out here very shortly. How do you feel about that? I guess you're a part of that to a certain degree.
Yeah, I helped her arrange the songs and record the rhythm guitars and bass for it. It comes out 13th of May, so a bit under a month or so. She also has a lot of cool guitar guests. She does all the singing herself, apart from some growling stuff done by Brandon Boardman. She has Tommy Johansson from Sabaton doing a guitar solo, and Bill Hudson is doing a couple of solos, and yeah, some friends of ours doing some guest solos. Other projects I'm doing now, I'm doing a solo album that is not a Legend of Valley Doom album, but it's yeah, maybe a bit heavier, but a lot of the same style as Legend of Valley Doom still. The first part, I'm going to release it as a CD and LP. So side A is apocalypse and Judgment Day, and maybe a bit influenced by what's going on in the world.
It's hard not to get influenced by all this
Yeah.
craziness, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. When you flip the LP, it will be more fantasy. So 2 songs inspired by Lord of the Rings, and 1 song inspired by Game of Thrones, and then 1 song about television preachers.
All right, hey. That was, that's what you think of most when you think of Lord of the Rings, and then your next logical thought is TV preachers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the two go hand in hand.
Yeah. A bit random.
Well, I'm not sure what to expect with that one, but I think we're all certainly intrigued now.
Yeah. Tim Roper Owens and me doing a duet on that one, so it will be a lot of screaming.
Awesome. Who's playing the preacher?
He is. Or we're both kind of talking about how bad it is to exploit old people and getting their money, and yeah, so
interesting.
There's this TV preacher here in Norway that has a mansion, and
right.
He's like the richest guy in Norway almost, and has his own TV channel, and doesn't pay taxes, I think. And
right.
Yeah, so I felt he deserved a song.
Yeah, he deserved to just get musically slapped, right?
Yeah.
Oh, too funny. Yeah, you hate to see that kind of thing, don't you?
Yeah.
But wow, so fascinating. And so is this going to be part of a new saga, or is this kind of a standalone?
This is just standalone songs that I couldn't use in Legend of Aladoon. Some of them were supposed to be in a new Darkest Sins album, but then I thought the process of making a Darkest Sins album is very slow. So instead of just going through all the opinions in a band, I just wanted to use the songs myself.
You can just make all the decisions yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier and more effective.
You don't have to go before the board.
Yeah. So many times I have something I think of as an excellent idea, and then if I ask a whole band, then maybe the idea can change into something I didn't want in the first place. And sometimes it's, of course, it turns into a better song, but yeah, mainly when I come in with a song, I think the idea is great from before, so I don't need people's opinions.
Right. Who needs those?
Yeah.
Which Legend of Valley Doom album is your personal favorite?
I think the third one is my favorite because it was very emotional to end the saga that I had worked on half my life since I was 17 years old. So when I heard the narration on the last thing that happens in the saga, it was like almost tears in my eyes.
Yeah, bittersweet.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite the accomplishment.
Thank you.
And now you can just kind of enjoy, now that it's all out there and everyone, has been able to experience the saga, how do you feel? Have you seen a real positive feedback?
Yeah, mostly people are positive, and I love reading the positive reviews.
Yeah.
Then there are, of course, a couple of people who say this is a 1 out of 10, and the songs are so basic. It's just verse, chorus, and then a solo. And
Well, I'm
then,
guessing on your next album, there's going to be a song about them too.
yeah, maybe.
Those 1-star reviewers.
Yeah,
Oh,
could be a great title.
yeah, yeah. Who would you get to play the 1-star reviewers?
I think I would need someone like Chuck Billy to be very angry.
Yeah, an angry person.
Or
Oh,
Tom Araya from Slayer.
right. Oh wow. Yeah, we're going real heavy now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did that Amon Amarth cover, Twilight of the Thunder God, which is so cool. Are you a big Amon Amarth fan? And do you have any other plans for doing some, different kind of covers in a power metal style?
Yeah, I've seen them live at Wacken in 2014, I think, and I love their style. And the Viking stuff is, of course, in my blood. So I
Yeah.
love that they are telling the Viking stories. Um, I hope to find some other songs like that that would make a great power metal tune, because it was a lot of fun and something I've been thinking about for years. Then I decided to finally do it. So if people have suggestions, then just write in the comments.
Oh, awesome. There you go. Have at it, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any ideas for a cool song that would be awesome turned into power metal? Put it in the comments. Let Marius know.
Yeah. I did Jolene by Dolly Parton with my wife on the vocals. That was a power metal cover.
I think I missed that one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on my channel.
Wow, that's a bizarre choice. Also, I gotta check that out.
And I've done Chuck Berry, the Johnny B. Good song. I think
Yeah.
that was a bit power metal as well. I
Wow.
think
So
3
really, the
years ago.
sky's the limit. I mean,
Yeah.
Jolene and Twilight of the Thunder God.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So awesome. So I mean, things seem to be going pretty good for you here. We can't wait to see what you continue to bring. Everybody. I have a couple viewer questions here. So Apix Photography would like to know, said, you've cooperated with many artists so far. What metal musicians would you consider to be top notch?
That I haven't worked with until now, or that I
I
have.
think that you have worked with, but I guess we could
Yeah.
kind of bounce off of that, and like that you have worked with, and then who would be like some dream guests that you haven't been able to get yet?
Yeah. I think my favorite guitar player that I've worked with is Jimmy Hedlund from Falconer. He's also playing 7 out of the 8 guitar solos on my new album.
Oh, awesome.
He's just very awesome. He has a sense of melody and shred at the same time that I haven't heard anyone do ever. So he can play as fast as Yngwie Malmsteen and melodic at the same time.
Wow.
So yeah, he is of course one of my favorites. And then being a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, it was of course maybe my proudest moment to have John Rhys Davies as a narration guy and also singing. He's not known for singing, so that was a bit fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah. And then of course Michael Kiske, one of my main influences as a vocalist myself. People I have not worked with yet, but would love to have worked with is of course Bruce Dickinson and Tobias Sammet from Avantasia.
Oh yeah, yeah, that would be huge.
Yeah, and Timo Kutipelto and Tony Kakko.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think they are And of course, Eric Adams from Manowar. I think they are my top 5. I think.
It's gotta happen.
Yeah, someday.
Yeah, it's gotta
Just
happen. You
need to
gotta write
write
a new.
more.
Yeah, you gotta write a new saga, and
Yeah,
if you write it, they will come, right?
hopefully.
And one other viewer question here. This one's from Nikos Gallos 666. What is your favorite fantasy book?
I think The Hobbit, because Lord of the Rings is too long. I've read The Hobbit in Norwegian 2 times and in English 1 or 2 times. I've also read it to my stepson when he was 7 years old, so it's a special book for me. Yeah.
Wow, super cool.
It's a bit cliche to say that Tolkien is your favorite, but yeah.
No, I mean, the dude was a mastermind. What he wrote, he truly created just such a rich world. It's remarkable.
Yeah, Legend of Valley Doom would not exist without him and his maps and dragons and swords and
a lot of stuff wouldn't exist without Tolkien, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's cool. Do you play Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that?
No, I should have, but I never tried it.
How about Skyrim or any video games?
I tried Skyrim, but my brother is more. I think he has 1,000 hours or something on Skyrim.
That's so like my brother too. I played briefly, but I get too overwhelmed.
Yeah, I tried the Skyrim VR thing as well on PlayStation.
Yeah,
but I got dizzy after 10 minutes or so, so that was not for me.
Right.
Age of Empires, though. Age of Empires 2 is one of my favorite games.
Okay. So like those real-time strategies.
Yeah. History.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, history.
And
fantasy
William
books.
Wallace.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Yeah. So any idea on a release time frame for your new album?
It all depends on the LP manufacturer because the waiting line is so long.
Wow.
So I'm going to mix the 3 remaining songs this weekend and send them to mastering. And then I will have the master sometime this coming week, and then they will start putting me in line of waiting.
Ticket.
Yeah, so hopefully before Christmas. People like Adele, they have all the LPs. So I think she drained the market of LPs. Wow. So the big ones printed like thousands of LPs. So us little guys can't release albums.
There's another song, Adele and the people that take up all the LPs.
Yeah.
You should just have like a slam album where it's just all the people that slighted you in some way.
Yeah, Marius LP. Eminem.
Yeah.
A collaboration with Eminem.
Yeah. That would be something, I tell you. Yeah. There you go. A power metal Eminem song.
Yeah. Lose Yourself or Cleaning Out My Closet.
Yes. Got it. There we go. We got one already, folks.
Yeah.
and you gotta get Eminem himself to do a little, rap portion, in between.
Yeah, of course.
Easy.
Yeah.
Just get him on speed dial.
Or find his wife or something.
That's what you do. Oh, just that's too funny. Well, anything else that you want to add or promote or say to your fans out there or viewers?
If there are any bands out there who need mixing, then I'm free. I'm home with my daughter at the moment and can spend some time in the studio.
Awesome.
Other than that, just follow my music and check out everything I have released so far, and yeah, support me.
Yes, support them and look forward to the future, because we clearly got some more stuff coming, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again, sir. It has just been an absolute honor to have you featured here and speaking to me. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that's what I got for you all. That is Marius Danielsen. And again, I put all of his social media and all of his information down in the description below. Go check all of that stuff out and put song ideas for him to, do a cover, a power metal cover. Put that in the comments and listen to his stuff, all of that. So go have fun with that. And that's what I got for y'all, and I'll catch you all next time. Ranger out.